Member for Ryan.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I know a lot of everyday people really hate it when they hear politicians talk about the cost of living. There's so much empty rhetoric, so much pantomime politicking, so many crocodile tears, so many words, so little action, so many excuses and so little responsibility taken. People know the government could do something, and people know they won't. Meanwhile, the cost of living crisis goes from bad to worse. And here's some facts. A recent ANU study found that 1 in 4 Australians are finding it hard or very hard to make ends meet at the moment. Sobering. The number of people using buy now, pay later schemes is now at 5.9 million. 1 in 7 of these, over 840,000 people, are now using this practically on a fortnightly basis. 20 or more short-term loans a year. More and more people are getting trapped in a debt spiral. A few weeks ago, NAB's Consumer Sentiment Survey found that the average Australian expects to be paying an extra $2,000 before Christmas because of the rising cost of everything. Fine if you're well off, but what sacrifices will that mean if you're on a middle or low income? What presents can you now not buy for your kids? What holiday outing are you now going to have to cancel? And at the lower end of income, what meals are you going to start skipping? Inflation's starting to bite, but it's not inevitable that people have to suffer through this. The Labor government and the RBA are pursuing a strategy here with the intentional effect of making more people's lives harder. That's how they intend to solve inflation. Hold back on social spending and push up interest rates. Everyday people struggle to buy as much, leading to a drop-off in economic activity. Businesses contract, lay off workers who are then forced to accept worse wages because there's a growing pool of unemployed to compete for their job. This is then supposed to lead to a drop in inflation. This punishes everyday people for the sin of living their lives and makes them bear the cost of fixing a problem they just did not create. Labor says they want to get wages moving, but the broader policies being pursued here by both the RBA and the Labor government suggest they in fact want to get them moving downward. And yet, despite what some commentators say, inflation is in no way being caused by wages. Earlier this year, the Australia Institute found that a full 60% of inflation was driven by corporate profits, which in a number of sectors are at record levels. UK economist James Medway says that the other real drivers are the war in Ukraine, which is driving up energy and other basic commodity prices, floods and other weather events ruining crops, and supply chain issues from ongoing COVID disruptions, particularly in China. So what is pushing up interest rates and holding back on government support supposed to do than make people's lives harder? Another great economist, in fact a constituent of mine in Ryan, John Quiggin, has pointed out if Labor wants to use the excuse of inflation for not giving everyday people the relief they need, then why does this not apply to the Stage 3 tax cuts? Surely $9,000 tax cuts for the rich is precisely the kind of cash splash that the Prime Minister has said he wants to avoid. I think there's a big double standard here. When it's money for the rich or for fossil fuel corporations, there's plenty of money to be splashed. But when it comes to cost of living relief, the government counts its pennies and blames inflation. What's the alternative? Well, the government could scrap the Stage 3 tax cuts and put that $250 billion cash splash for the rich into things that will actually help people deal with the cost of living, like dental and mental health into Medicare, universal free childcare, raising the pension and income support. The RBA could freeze interest rates and the government could cap rents and build the public homes we actually need. Also, an urgent windfall tax on the giant gas corporations could be used to cap energy prices, which the Treasury yesterday agreed with.